Someone laughed too hard. That was the first wrong thing. The sound cut through the restaurant, bright, careless, like glass shattering in a quiet room. 45 faces turned toward me. Candles trembled. My name sagged in half-melted icing, still clinging to the cake like it didn't know it was about to disappear. My wife stood. She smoothed her dress. Practice motion. I recognized it the way you recognize your own signature when someone else forges it. Congratulations, she said, lifting her glass. To failure. We're finished. The room inhaled. Then exhaled in laughter. Beside her, a man leaned back in his chair, smiling like someone who'd arrived early to claim a seat. He didn't look at me. He didn't need to. His hand rested on her thigh beneath the tablecloth, casual, entitled, as if it belonged there. I didn't cry. I slid a black envelope across the table. Paper against linen. A quiet, deliberate sound. Call your parents, I said. My voice surprised me, flat, steady. Their house is gone. Confusion rippled. Call your sisters, I added. Their tuition just vanished. The laughter died in seconds. I watched mouths close. Watched the man beside her sit upright. Watched my wife scan the room for a script that wasn't there. This was the middle of it. It always is. It hadn't started tonight. It never does. It started with absence disguised as independence. Late meetings. A phone turned face down. A new laugh that didn't include me. She said my name like punctuation, necessary, forgettable. I told myself it was stress. I told myself stories because stories are warmer than silence. On my birthday, she insisted on the restaurant. She invited everyone. Family, friends, colleagues, people who knew me well enough to clap when prompted. I noticed how she didn't touch me. How the chair beside her stayed occupied when I went to the restroom. How the man knew the waiter's name. Denial is a warm place. It keeps you alive long enough to prepare. I remembered the first time I saw him months ago, a shadow in a photo she posted, then deleted. I remembered the flinch when I kissed her cheek, like affection was a language she no longer spoke. When she stood at dinner, it felt inevitable. A scene rehearsed without me. The cruelty was efficient. Casual. The betrayal wasn't just the affair. It was the audience. It was the assumption that I would collapse on cue. I didn't confront her when I first knew. I cataloged. Phone records spoke when she wouldn't. Patterns formed when I stopped asking questions and started counting. Same number. Same hours. Same lie repeated until it believed itself. I watched. I learned the rhythm of her deception. The immediate showers. The I love you without eye contact. I hired no one. I trusted data. Quiet tools. Documents. Screenshots. Bank statements that whispered the truth to anyone patient enough to listen. Her parents' house wasn't sentimental. It was collateral. Her sister's tuition wasn't generosity. It was leverage. All of it tied to a web she never saw because she never asked how things worked. Only that they did. I stayed calm. Smiled at invitations. Nodded through conversations about the future. Inside I built a map. Revenge isn't loud when it's done right. It's procedural. The evidence arrived on a Tuesday. It always does. Tuesdays are honest. Photos. Messages. Transfers. Timelines overlapping my life like a stain. Proof has a temperature. Cold. Reassuring. That night I asked her one question. Do you trust me? I said it gently. Almost playful. She laughed. She always laughed when she thought she was winning. Yes. I nodded. That was enough. Back at the table, the black envelope waited between us like a ceasefire. She opened it with shaking hands. Deeds. Notices. Numbers that didn't lie. Her mother called first. Then her father. Panic travels faster than denial. Her sisters followed, voices sharp with fear. The man stood up too fast. For the first time he looked at me. Really looked. He saw what she hadn't. This wasn't emotion. It was math. You meant to humiliate me, I said, raising a finger. Minimal dialogue. Maximum damage. You succeeded. I stood. Chairs scraped. Eyes burned. I meant to finish. I left the envelope. I left the cake. I left my name melting beneath candles that burned out one by one. Outside the night was quiet. Honest. I felt lighter, not because I'd won, but because I was done carrying what never belonged to me. Betrayal teaches you something simple. Power isn't taken in rage. It's reclaimed in silence. I walked away without looking back. And for the first time, the laughter behind me sounded small,